Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first video for getgodback.com. Actually, you might be watching this at David Kamay 1 on YouTube. That's the YouTube channel. Or you might be watching this at Get God Back channel at YouTube. So yes, Get God Back channel's got it's there as well. And of course, there's going to be there is already a Twitter account, Get God Back. So it's all there. It's all happening. The Get God Back situation has now begun. Website is now up and up and running, and I'm very excited about it because it is the beginning of something very important. Because it is the beginning of a real focus on this book. Here it is. This is the key. The Astrology of God, a book given to us by God so that we may unlock our minds, really, that have been enclosed over the several centuries with reason, excessive deceit, and a general propensity to give our power to a small group of people and to sell or be bought on the very materialist side of things, to be sold into the materialist world, to be sold into a world where there is an abuse of reason. So we're all trapped in this place. And you know, I was watching a Peter Hitchens video recently. Not Peter Hitchens, sorry, Christopher Hitchens, the man who wrote God Is Not Great, and he was doing this debate with Tony Blair about religion. And Christopher Hitchens said, well, what evidence have we got? And this is a very good question, ladies and gentlemen. It's all very well reading a scripture and believing it and being told that it's right. But we've got to a stage now where there is always something inside us, because we've been shown so much reason, we've been shown so much material world, that we are in a position where if we need to believe something as important as God, we've got to have proper evidence of him. And that isn't to say, oh, well, you know, the moon looks nice, or isn't it a glorious day? That isn't good enough, because that doesn't connect directly it doesn't link directly, philosophically, logically with, for example, the scriptures. And so what we've got to do now, we're in a position in the world now where we actually do have to find an objective way of understanding God and his nature. And that is the key to unlock our minds and therefore our hearts and get God back into our lives. It's not as if he's gone anyway, because he's always there. But what we have done, what the world has done, has turned away. And even people who claim to believe in God, do they really know what they're talking about? It's a very powerful word to use, God. It's a very powerful word to use, because he is the absolute and ultimate power, the only one, the absolute. Nothing is beyond or could ever be beyond. And so, to use the word God, we have a responsibility to understand and know what we're talking about. We can't just say, oh, God does this, God says that, God is nice. God insists on this, God's justice is this. We are at a position now where we must know why. Otherwise, it doesn't quite get to us enough. It doesn't unlock the very logical, the measurable prison, if you like, that we are now in. And so this is so good that this has arrived. The book, The Astrology of God. Obviously, it's not completely, totally perfect. There's a couple of little things that there's always going to be a couple of little creases in it. But overall, 99.9%, that book is the key to help us get through this. And the reason why it is because it gives us an objective and clear insight into God's nature, and so you could actually say, well, God is this. This is God. That is why. Look over there. Look, this is why. It connects also to the scriptures. It brings them alive. It brings God back into this world. It gives us his nature. It enables us, as this other book explains, A Message to Us All. And of course, you can download both of these free from getgodback.com. So that A Message to Us All gives us an idea of how to think using the astrology of God, so that we may, well, as it explains, follow the divine order. It helps us see and identify the divine order and understand why it must be followed, and why that we must stop burdening ourselves with evil and the temptations of evil, which brings on these super governments, which essentially, when you're following evil, when you or something like that, or something that you don't understand, and you give your power up to it, well, that's what you're doing. When you're accepting evil into your life, you're enabling something else to have power over you. There's a part of you that you haven't got power over you, so there's a part of you that isn't you. And of course, as the astrology of God explains, everything must be known. Everything to do with us must be known and brought to light. And so if we have any weakness or anything like that that brings in these evil things or these bad things, then we do one day have to deal with them and face up to them. So there's no point in putting things off. It's our duty to, not just to us, to the world around us, but to ourselves, to understand the nature of God, which is the ultimate freedom. Because God wants everybody to be free and fulfilled and complete and know they exist, and to have the greatest happiness and to have the greatest peace. He wants this world to be at peace. He wants this world to be fulfilled. These are all the things he wants. And that book, The Astrology of God, is the key to that. And throughout these videos and so on, and what this whole website is about, is helping you understand that, helping you connect the world around you with the scriptures. And of course, one of the things that this involves, you know, especially since one of the major tenets of that book is everything must be known. So truth is essential. Truth, not corruption. Honesty, truth is essential. Then everything must be true to what it is. And as the message to A Message to Us All explains, that means government must be very small. It means we must take responsibility, because this is what we truly are. We are responsible, powerful beings who must take responsibility of our power. And of course, when we understand truth, we have justice. And we also have governments that are, if you follow the proper if everything is as it should be, as these books explain, a government should be small, it should follow justice, it should follow truth, and it's in a position to bring justice and truth to the people. Another thing, yes, and therefore, of course, every government must follow, must be directly in line with God's law. And you only have to look at the scriptures to find out plenty of stuff on that. Stepping out of that, you're immediately into corruption. Another thing the books emphasize, another thing, that tenet, like I said, everything must be known. It means, of course, individual sovereignty. Your sovereignty as an individual is paramount. So is it that of your family, of your community. These are essential parts of God's order. The last and largest part, as far as we're concerned, is the nation. And once we get all of that sorted out, we are running along quite nicely. But of course, you need to know reasons for that, and that is what those two books, A Message to Us All, is all about, and The Astrology of God. And they encourage you to think for yourself. So that, say, if I'm not doing this anymore, you can say, well, look, I've got the astrology of God, I've got that, this is how it works. Look, it's all there. See, the evidence is there, Christopher Hitchens. There is the evidence. There is God. There is law. And this is why there is law, because it's great for us to follow it. It's great for us not to be burdened by our weaknesses and by evil and temptations of evil. And there's the key. And it's from God. And it's for you. And I'm going to help you understand it. And I hope that when you begin to get to grips with it, you help other people understand it. And spread the word. So that's what this website is all about. Get God back. Yes, get God back into our lives. Not being sold anymore to materialism. Not being sold anymore to big favours from the state and the governments. But to flourish as individuals within our families who we respect, within our communities who we respect, and the communities of other people and the families of other people and the individuals other than ourselves who we respect. So this is what get God back into our lives, so we can once again put the absolute authority of God in our minds above all that we do, which means above governments as well, because it is above governments. It means governments must flow in accord with the divine order. And then we've got the flow down from the top. You know, they say a fish rots at the head. Well, when the head is God and everything is in line and in stream with it, there's no rotting at all, ladies and gentlemen. And so that's what this is all about, getting God back into our lives. One of the great things about that book, of course, it's the strongest way we could understand that God exists. It's for the skeptics. It's for the thinkers out there. So let us get to it. There will be many videos on this website, and what I'll be doing at Get God Back is I'll be looking at contemporary stuff. I will be making notes and telling you about perhaps videos I've watched, books I'm reading, all about trying to help you understand the importance of understanding God and applying that, and the absolute importance of all that, and the scriptures of the true religions, reviving them so they can bring life back to those places, to the cultures to which they are relevant. Okay, so there we are. It's all there. It's all coming. A lot more on this website, regular stuff. And I do ask you, by the way, you can download these books. Yes, you can. You can download them free, and by all means do so. Spread them around, get everybody to download them and read them and discuss them amongst yourselves, and feedback. Get in touch with me. Give me feedback. Tell me about your victories with this. Tell me about your breakthroughs, about what you've understood, about why this has freed you. But also, please, if you want one of these nice hardback copies signed by me, sent to you first class, they're available to buy. And the buying of them helps me fund this so that I can help you. Okay? And so that we all together can have a far, far stronger impact. So do make your purchases there. Do get them along, and that helps support me do this. Yeah, so there we are. Feedback, everything like that, and your assistance and spreading it around, all vital. So enjoy the new website, getgodback.com. Enjoy everything else to do with it, and also don't forget, by the way, davidkamay.com and the books that are available there. There's a couple of books newly available. You can buy them actually. Ebooks there will be samples available. They're coming along very soon if they're not up already. If you're watching this a bit later on. So I look forward to seeing you in the months to come, in the time to come, when we are going to make some very big changes in this world. In fact, you are going to make some very big changes in this world, because once God comes back into your life and you're getting it properly and it's really beginning to fit together in a way that probably hasn't done before, you are getting some power. Remember, Jesus said, very little can be done with man on his own. Everything can be done with God. And the closest you can get to God, which means understanding him as best as you can, the more power to you. I shall be in touch regularly. You keep in touch with me if you can. I'll speak to you very soon.